Hello everyone, and welcome to the Net at Work Sage X3 video series. Today we're going to look at how to process customer returns, or RMAs, also known as Return Merchandise Authorizations, to customers that are returning inventory to us within X3. Today we're going to do three different functions. We're actually going to generate an RMA number to send to the customer. We're going to receive the RMA once the customer delivers the merchandise. And then we're going to actually generate a credit memo for that customer's account and see how all of those transactions tie back together, flowing all the way back to the original invoice that generated the shipment. So everything is going to be done within the customer return function, including creation of the RMA and receiving the RMA, and then generating the credit to the account's customer. We're going to do in the credit memo function. So let's go ahead and start the customer return. And when the screen opens up, we're going to go ahead into our plus sign to generate a new customer RMA. We're going to key in the customer code if we already know it, or of course we can use our search function to find that customer. If we're on the phone with him, we might not already know the number. And then we're going to put in what our RMA date is. If we know when we're expecting the merchandise back, we can key that in. There's an optional field. Perhaps the customer says he's going to get it to us by the 10th. And another optional field is we can specify where we're going to receive that inventory. So we can say that we're going to receive it in a specific receipt location. Now, if I did not know the delivery that it's associated with, I can simply type in the product ID and start keying in all the information, such as what's expected to return, what's the price I'm going to credit. But if I want to tie this to a delivery that I've made, I can come here to the left list and click on delivery selection, and I will see every delivery that I've made to that customer. I can select down. I can see that this delivery only had one item associated with it. This delivery had 5 items associated with it, so on and so forth. If I did not want to go through and searching for this, I can easily come here to the selection criteria and start to filter information out, so that if I knew that the customer is returning this product and he says that he received the delivery sometime after November, we can use that and just click OK, and now the system will filter to just deliveries that meet that criteria. So I can see that I shipped that item twice since November of 2018, and I can see that on this delivery, the customer, I shipped him 720 pieces, and he's already returned 10 from that specific delivery. So down here, when I check that box, the item will appear, and it will try to assume that I'm returning the balance of that delivery. So 720 minus 10 is 710. But perhaps today I just want to send him an RMA number, and maybe he's not returning the full amount. Maybe I'm only expecting 25 back from that delivery. When I say create, the system will now generate an RMA number. It's letting me know that this record has been created, and I can print that RMA and send it to him via email or via regular mail, so that he can affix that RMA number to the return that he will send. So let's fast forward to a week from now, and we can come back to that customer return screen, and now we're actually going to receive that inventory. Now, as you know, in X3, it's going to remember the last record that we were in, so we don't have to search for it. We know that it's that same customer, that same RMA number, and we can see down here that we are expecting to receive 25, and what was actually returned is going to be what's going to go back to inventory. That could have been the same number, it could have been a different quantity, but we're going to receive all 25 today, and it's going to prompt us for a return reason. Well, perhaps they were mislabeled, perhaps it was the wrong item, perhaps it was late and they don't accept it. We're going to say that it was a defective inventory as of this moment. So I can see that when I'm receiving that return, If I scroll over to the right, I can see that I am going to update my stock, and what location am I going to update it in. This is an item that requires an inspection, so it's going to go to the quality inventory status, a Q status. And over on the right hand side, I can tell the system that yes, I do in fact want to generate a credit memo for this transaction. Now I can click on save, and that will actually close that RMA, the system is going to allow me to print labels for this inventory that I've just received. We can exit that once we've printed the labels, and I'm going to exit once again, and we're going to go back to the main menu. And now that we've created the RMA and received the RMA, I now want to generate a credit memo to that customer's account. I'm going to go to the credit memo function, and I'm going to create a new credit memo. And here we can specify which site. I know that the system, the return was delivered to NA012, and I'm going to call up that same customer. And when I go to return selection, I can see all of the returns that were generated for that particular customer. Now I know that the last one is the one that we want to look at, so I'm going to click on that item. If we wanted to actually generate credit memos for other products, we can select those as well. And you can see down here that we have those two products selected. Here are the 25 that I very recently received, and here are the 860 that I received prior. And so when I'm satisfied with my entry, the system, because I linked it to the original delivery, knows exactly what the price was at that moment, any discounts or any other accounting related information. So when I say accept, the system will generate the credit memo, and now I can simply post that transaction, and the credit memo was created to the customer's account. If I wanted to see a traceability of that information, I can come down to journal traceability, and the system, I'm going to do a backward traceability on this particular credit memo. And I can see here that the system is going to show me what order uh, came from that. That order generated a delivery. That delivery generated an invoice, and that invoice generated a credit memo. So all of my transactions are flowing directly and tied together via this RMA process. Thank you very much.